Hi everyone, welcome back. I was inspired by my own nail art design, which is very Christmassy, and I wanted to replicate it on my face as a holiday makeup look. So let's get into it. I'm first starting out with Maybelline's Master Prime eyeshadow primer, blending it out with my fingers, and then following it up with Wet n Wild's Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. If you're new here, I need 2 eyeshadow primers to keep my shadows from creasing throughout the day. Moving on to eyeshadows, I'm then going in with Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee on a dense, fluffy brush and blending that through my crease as a transition shade. On a flat, stiff brush, I'm then taking Inglot's Shine 152 eyeshadow and packing that all over my lid. This is a beautiful silver with a hint of tarnished gold to it, which is not super obvious, but it is there. I'm also wrapping that color around the inner corner of my eye. I'm still sticking with Inglot's eyeshadows, and this time I'm using Matte 382 on a blending brush and putting that through the top of my crease. This is a really bright red, and we'll be going in with a darker one later, but this shade is just there to keep the whole blending process really flawless. And that darker red shade is Makeup Forever's M846 eyeshadow. And I'm using the exact same brush as I did with the previous red and packing this on more solidly on the outer half of the lid. I'm also dragging it through my crease with patting motions. Patting motions have always worked so much better for me than the whole sweeping and windshield wiper motion. So if you're ever struggling with your eyeshadows because a certain technique doesn't work for you, try this patting motion and maybe it'll work out for you as it does for me. I wanted a little bit more depth to my outer corner that the Makeup Forever shadow wasn't really giving me, so I went in with Makeup Geek's Bitten. However, I didn't feel like it was adding enough dimension, so then I ended up dipping into Makeup Geek's Americano and layering that on top of Bitten. All these colors are roughly around the same shade range, so you just have to play around to find out what's going to add some depth without going to like a completely black shade. And of course, be sure to clean up your fallout. I always use a little bit of Bioderma on a cotton pad. To highlight my brow bone, I decided to go for a shimmery shadow, which is not something I normally do. I've really been sticking to mattes, but I wanted something festive, so I decided to use Makeup Geek's Shimma Shimma eyeshadow. Okay, now before we go in with the glitter, I always prefer to do my liquid liner first, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm going in with Kat Von D's Tattoo Liner in Trooper and lining my upper lash line as well as creating a wing. And now for the glitter. I'm patting on a little bit of Too Faced glitter glue on top of the silver lid shade, and then I'll be using a silver glitter that I have literally had for a few decades now. It's by the now defunct Tony and Tina brand, but use any silver glitter that you have. I'm patting that loose glitter on top of the glitter glue and feathering it out as best as I can when I hit the red shade on the outer corner. I don't want a harsh line, so try to dab just a little bit on that outer corner to feather the glitter out. And of course, glitter is prone to fall out pretty much everywhere, so use a little bit of tape to get it off of your face. Moving on to my face, I'm first priming with Makeup Forever's Step 1 Skin Equalizer. This one is their hydrating primer, which I definitely need when it comes to the colder months. My foundation of choice today is the Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo in the shade 10N Cream because it just seems to match my skin tone at the moment, and I do really like the way it applies. So I'm spreading that onto my face with a damp Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. A little bit of this goes a very long way. For my bronzer, I'll be using Soap & Glory's Solar Powder and putting that on my temples, the backs of my cheekbones, and along my jawline. This is probably the most boring part of my makeup routine because it really never changes. For blush, I'll be pulling out a favorite of mine, Clinique's Cheek Pop in the shade Cola Pop. You can see just how much color this shade deposits, so go very easy with it and blend it out with your foundation sponge if you have to. I wanted to stick with the silver tones in this look, so I'm using the Star Highlighter from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Moonchild and layering that on the high points of my cheeks. I really love how this replicates what's going on with the eyes. With the silver and the red, it just really looks beautiful to me. With my face now done, I'm going back to the eyes to finish them up, and I'm taking Makeup Geek's Bitten eyeshadow and running that along my lower lash line. For my brows, I'll be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in Taupe, although I do find that the shade is a bit too dark for me, so I did end up taking this shade back. My mascara today is Urban Decay's Perversion Mascara, and I'll be applying that to my top and bottom lashes. In the next clip, it also looks like I lined my lower waterline with a black eye pencil, but I don't seem to have recorded that, so make sure you also do that as well if you want to completely replicate this look. I'm also going to be popping on a pair of false lashes, and since I do like a bit more drama for the holidays, I'm using the Femme Fatale lashes in She Devil. To finish everything up, I'm lining my lips with MAC's Brick Lip Pencil, and I'm starting with the perimeter of my lips and then gradually filling them all in. Directly on top of that lip liner, I'll be using my trusty MAC Russian Red, which is always perfect for a holiday look. And we're done. I am so happy with how this came out. I wasn't sure how a nail art design would look on my eyes, but I'm absolutely in love. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!